Hello guys, welcome to this day 2, the series on HTML, and we are already covered our basics of HTML and different tags of HTML part 1. So again I'm repeating that this is a free course by Impact Academy. So you can see this series on HTML absolutely free. But if you want to earn a certificate after this course, then you have to pay and you have to do a project on HTML. So today we're going to cover use of different tags of HTML part 2. So I hope you all are well on this COVID-19 pandemic situation. So with that, I am going to start today's session. So today we start with img tag. So what is the purpose of this img tag? So img tag basically does that it actually used for inserting image in your web page. Okay, so you can insert a group of images or an image in your web page, and you can do it using img tag. And there are basic 4 attributes which are used with this img tag. The first attribute is src. Now why this attribute is needed? So src attribute tells the source of the image. Okay, whatever image you are going to insert in your web page, so what is the source of that image, that is basically told by src tag. Okay, and then there is another attribute that is height and width. Okay, so height and width basically it is going to set the height and width of the image which you are going to insert in your web page. Okay, so actually height and width here in pixel units, so you have to give the input according to, actually you have to set the attribute values according to your choice. And there is another important attribute, that is alt. Okay, so alt generally stands for alternative text. Okay, so now what is alternative text? So suppose there is a browser problem or there is an internet problem to reload the web page. Okay, so your web page is reloaded, and suppose the image that is not showing due to some error. Okay, so so in place of that image the alternative text is shown. Okay, so that is why you have to set something alternative text. Okay, so you can set that alternative text according to the topic of the image. Okay, so these are basic 4 attributes. Now I will show you how to give the source and how to set these all attributes, and then we will just run the code and check the code. Okay, so just open your browser, and just here give here any image, just search any image, and then you can choose according to your choice, and then just copy image address. Okay, just copy image address, and inside the source attribute set the source of the image. Okay, and you can give height according to your choice. Suppose I am giving 650, and width is suppose 270. Okay, and the alternative text is suppose night sky. Okay, so I set the attribute values. Now I'm going to save this code and just run this code. Sorry. Okay, so just run this code. Okay, so you can see that here is my image, but here actually I have to change the width, so that is why it is shown like this. So this is 270 is the height, and 650 is the width. Now just reload that page. Now it is showing properly. Okay, so now it is showing properly. So that is how you can add or insert any image in your web page. Okay, so this tag is very important for you. Now I am going to show you how to create a table in HTML. So how you can insert a table in HTML and you can format it according to your choice. So to insert a table, we have to use table tag. Okay, so I use table tag. So what is the purpose of this table tag? So table tag is used to define a table. Okay, that is why table tag is used. Now what are the elements of table? So you know that there are rows, there are columns, there are cells, there are headers. Okay, so there are different parts of a table. So to create table header, we use thead tag. So thead tag defines the header of the table. Okay, so it's the purpose of the thead tag. Now inside thead tag, we have to create a row where we can give the headers. Okay, so to create a row, we use tr tag. Tr stands for table row. Okay, so to create a row inside the header part of the table, we use tr tag. So here I use tr tag to create a row. Now we have to use th tag inside this tr tag. So why we are using that? So th stands for also table header name. Okay, th stands for table header name. Now whatever you are writing inside th tag, that is going to be considered as a table header. Okay, so suppose here I write name, and suppose here I just create another header, that is code. So inside the first row of the table, I create two headers. One is name and another is code. Okay, now let's see what happens. So I'm just going to run this code. Okay, so you can see that here is the name and score. So my table is created with two headers. One is name and another is score. Now we have to fill data in my table. So how we can fill data in different cells in the table? Let's see. So it is the header part of the table. Now when you are going to when you are going to fill some data inside your table, so you are filling actually data inside the body of the table. Okay, so to create or to define the body of a table, here we use tbody tag. Okay, so tbody stands for table body. So here we're going to use tbody tag. Tbody defines the body of a table. Okay, tbody defines the body of a table. Now you have to create several rows and you have to create several cells where you can fill your data. So to create a row, we use here tr tag. You already know that. Now inside this row, what we have to fill? So we have to fill data, And what are the data? So we have to fill name and we have to fill score. Okay. So for the first header, we have to create a cell. And how can we create a cell inside a table? We have to use TD tag. Okay. So TD stands for table data. So TD tag is basically used to create a cell inside a table. So here I create a cell, and because it is the first cell of the second row, so it actually aligns with name. Okay. So whatever name you are going to insert, you have to insert in the first TD tag. Okay. So here suppose I give a name Ajoy Dash. Okay. Now here I am going to create another field, another data field or another table data, that is for score. Suppose the score is 90. So just save this and run this code and see the change in our table. So you can see here. Okay. So for the name, here the first data comes, that is Ajoy Dash. Okay, I just zoom it 1 second. Okay, so here the first name comes, that is Ajoy Dash, and the score is 90. Okay, so you can see it. Now actually this is something which is not good looking, so you have to center align your data. Okay, now how you can center align it? So if you want to center align your data, then you have to write here. So there is an attribute actually align. Okay, so you use this align attribute, you use this align attribute with your TD tag. Okay, so in align there are different values. So there are actually different 4 values, that is center, left, right and none. Okay, so here I just going to use center. So I am just using here the attribute align and I am going to set the value as center. So what actually going to happen, that these data fields are actually going to be center aligned with the heading. Okay, just see the change. Yeah, okay, fine. So you can see that actually my data is now center aligned with the heading. Okay, so that is why I am set the attribute value as center. Okay, but you can also set the attribute value as left, right, according to your choice. You can align your data. So suppose I'm just going to fill another data. So I just copy this whole row and I just paste it. So suppose here Ajay Das, suppose Shamrat Raj Gautam Bari. I'm just creating another data fields. Suppose here, wait. So I'm just going to create another data fields. 70, 90, 80. Suppose this is 60. Okay, so I'm just creating another data fields. Now just save it and see the table, how it looks like. Okay, so now it is looking fine. So you can see that this is my table. Okay, Now, how you can insert your table heading? Okay, so here I am just filling the name and score, and suppose this is the score sheet of the exam. So I want to write the table heading that score, that exam score sheet. Okay, so I just want to write the heading of this table. So how I can write the heading? So for that there is another tag you have to use to insert table heading, and that tag is caption tag. Okay, so here I just write caption. I just write caption tag in the next line of the table tag. Okay, and in the caption, suppose I'm going to write exam score sheet. So I just save my file, and now you can see the change. Okay, so exam score sheet, so it is the heading of my table. Okay, so that is how you can also insert the heading of the table by caption tag. Okay, now suppose I want to give border in my cells and in my rows and columns. I just want to give a border that looks better actually. So how you can insert a border in your table? So you have to use border attribute with the table tag. Okay, so in the table tag I just write border attribute. Okay, so border. And what is the attribute value of this border attribute? So actually this attribute value is any number. Okay, so you can give it according to your choice. So suppose here I am giving the attribute value as 2. Okay, so now let's check what happens. Yeah, okay, it's fine. So you can see that here a border is created inside the table in between the different cells. Okay, so actually it looks better. Okay, it looks better. It's a good looking table. So when you are going to create some table, so you have to give the border of a table. Okay, now there is another tag that is tfoot or tfooter. Okay, or it is tfoot. So what is the purpose of this tfoot tag? Okay, so suppose there is a calculation, there are some scores, and at last you want to add those all scores and you want to write that. So how you can write that actually? So you have to use the tfoot tag. Okay, so this tfoot tag is basically used for, tfoot defines the footer of a table. So footer means actually the last row where we'll calculate the total of any column. Sorry, the total of, okay, so total of any column or total of any data. Okay, so it is actually the last row of a table. So here inside tfoot tag, so suppose I want to aggregate all scores. So I want to aggregate all scores. So here I am just writing total equals to, and suppose here I am going to write the total score. So here the total score is, I think, 90 plus 90, 180 plus 70. Okay, so here I am just going to write suppose 400. Okay, so now you can see, wait, So now I am just save this code, and now I'm going to run this code. Okay, so now you can see that here is the total of this code. Okay, the aggregate of all the scores here. I'm just fill this. Okay, so this is actually TFooter tag. Okay, so that is why it is used. So it is all about the basics, that how to create a table in HTML. Now you can format your table in different way. So there are different actually tags, like suppose BGColor. Okay, so it is another attribute which you can use with the table tag to give a background color to your table. Okay, so suppose BGColor, inside that, suppose I am giving, so you can use, so you can inside the BGColor, when you are going to set the attribute value, you have to give the hexadecimal color code. Okay, so just go to the Google Chrome and write here hexadecimal color codes. Okay, so from here you can use the hexadecimal color code. So suppose I want to give this, so you can see here that it is the hexadecimal color code. Okay, what I am copying here, it is the hexadecimal color code. So I am just going to my Sublime text editor, and I just set the attribute value of this BGColor by this hexadecimal color code. Now let's check what happens. So I am just reload my page. Yeah, okay, fine. So now you can see the background color of the table is changed. Okay, so that is how you can change the background color of your table. Now here you can use also BGColor. Wait, so here you can use also BGColor tag inside the TR tag, because you can give several color to different rows. Okay, so suppose I am setting here the background color for the header part of the table. Suppose I pick a color. I pick a color from here, and I just copy this hexadecimal code, and I'm just paste it here. Okay, so I save this code, and now you can see this row, the background color of this row is changed. Okay, so that is how you can give your that is how you can set different colors to the different rows. Okay, so suppose for the footer I am giving another color, so I use this hexadecimal code for the footer. Okay, wait just a minute. So for the footer row I set this color, and for another row for another data rows I just set another color. Just wait. 1 minute, just a minute. So here I just set different colors to different rows. Okay, so now this is my code. I'm just save it, and now I am going to run this code. Now let's check what happens. Okay, fine. So now you can see that now our table looks better. Okay, so that is how you can create a table in HTML and you can format it according to your choice. Okay, so that is all about table. Now we are moving on another topic, on another tag. Now I am going to discuss a very important part of HTML, that is lists in HTML. So there are how many types of lists in HTML, how to create that lists, and how to format that lists. These all topics I am going to discuss in detail. Okay, so there are basically three types of lists in HTML. The number one is the ordered list or numbered list. Okay, the second one is unordered list or bulleted list, and the third one, also the last one, is the definition list. Okay, so there are these three types of lists in HTML. Now here we are going to see how to create an ordered list or numbered list. So to create an ordered list, you have to use OL tag. Okay, you have to use OL tag. So this OL tag defines an ordered or numbered list. Now when you are going to insert elements in the list, so you have to insert the elements using li tag. Okay, so in li tag, suppose I am writing apple, then I am writing banana, then I am writing mango. Okay, and suppose then I am writing grapes. Now this is an ordered list. Okay, so this is an ordered list. This is an ordered list. So now I'm just going to save this code and run this code. Let's check what happens. Just a minute. Okay, so now you can see that here is the ordered list. Okay, so here is the ordered list or numbered list. Okay, now we are going to create an unordered or bulleted list. So how to create that? So instead of OL tag, you have to use UL tag. So UL stands for unordered list. That is why you have to just use UL tag. Okay, so I'm just copying this code snippet and I just change it in UL. UL, suppose I here give names cricket, football, hockey, and then tennis. Okay, so this UL tag defines an unordered list. So this is the basic difference. Just we have to change the OL tag and you have to write UL tag. So that is how you can create an unordered list. So I'm just going to save this code and then just reload the page once again. Okay, just once again. Okay, so here is the, so here is my unordered list. Okay, so you can see that this is an ordered list and this is an unordered or bulleted list. Now how to create a definition list? Okay, So just see here. So this definition list is actually different from this ordered and unordered list. So this is a definition list. So instead of UL, you have to use DL. Okay, you have to use DL. So DL stands for definition list. Definition list. Okay. So sorry, this is bulleted list. Okay, so here is the definition list. You have to use DL tag, and inside DL tag, when you are going to write some definition, then there are also another two tags. Okay, one is data, one is DT tag, and another is DD tag. Okay, so what is this DT tag and DD tag? Okay, so this DT tag actually defines the definition term. Okay, so DT stands for definition term. Just wait. DT is used to give definition term. Okay, so suppose here I am give program. Okay, so this is my DT. Okay, or definition term. Now here I am going to use DD. So this DD stands for definition data. Okay, DD is used to give okay, sorry, DD is used to give definition. Okay, so that is why we can use this DD tag with DT tag. Now here in the DT I write program. Now what is program? I think you all know that program is a set of instructions. Program is a set of instructions. Okay, so this is the definition of program. Now just save it. Just save it and then just run it. Let's check what happens. Yeah, okay. So this is a definition list. Okay, so here you just write program. And what is program? Program is a set of instructions. Okay, so this is a definition list. That is how you can create a definition list. Okay, so these are the basics of list. And now here we're going to show that how to format a list. And another thing I want to say here, so you can nest different types of list. Okay, that means you can use an unordered list inside an ordered list. You can use any list inside any list. Okay, you can nest that different types of lists, okay, one inside another. So it is also allowable in HTML. So you can also do that. You can also nest the lists. Okay, so when you nest the list, so you have to concern about that you have to use the tags properly. Okay, you have to use the tags properly, otherwise your list is not visible properly. Okay, so you can nest the lists. Now I am going to discuss how to format a ordered list. or we can say what are the different attributes that can be used with the OL tag to format the ordered list. Okay, so now see here. So here is an attribute that is type. Okay, so type is an attribute, and there are 5 different attribute values of type. So the one value is I, capital I. Okay, so this capital I is to actually used to mark the different list elements by Roman numbers. Okay, by uppercase Roman numbers. So to mark different elements of an ordered list by uppercase Roman numbers, we can use type attribute value as capital I. Okay, so just save this code. This is ordered list. Okay, so this is ordered list, and just run this code. Okay, okay, so now you can see that here my list elements are marked with uppercase Roman letters. Okay, so now there is another type value. There is another type attribute value, that is small I. So this small I basically defines, actually this small I basically sets the marker of the list elements as lowercase Roman letters. Okay, so if I save this code and then run this code, so you can see the difference. Yeah, okay, so you can see the difference. So these list elements are marked with the lowercase Roman letters. Okay, if I use type equal to small I. Okay, so now if I set this type attribute value equals to capital A, then this will going to show me the, actually this will going to show me the marker as uppercase letters of English. Okay, the uppercase letters of English is shown as a marker of this list elements. Okay, so just save this code and let's check what happens. So I'm just going to reload this page. Yeah, go fine. So you can see that here the markers are actually uppercase English letters. Now if I change this type to small a, then if I change the type in small a, then the marker will change to the lowercase English letters. Okay, so just save this code and just run this code. Yeah, okay, fine. So you can see here the marker is changed into lowercase English letters. Okay, now instead of these 4 types, there is another type, that is none. Okay, so if we use none, then this is actually a default type, so it actually changed my marker into numbers. Okay, yeah, okay, fine. So you can see my markers are now changed into numbers. Okay, so these 5 are the basic types. I'm just writing here I for uppercase Roman letters. Okay, then small I for lowercase Roman letters, then capital A for uppercase English letters, small a for lowercase English letters, and finally none for numbers. Okay, so these five are actually different type attribute values by which you can change the marker of this ordered list. Okay, now there are also another attributes. That another attribute is start. Okay, so by this start attribute you can set, you can set the marker value. Okay, so by this start attribute you can set the marker value. Suppose I want to start the marker value from 4. Okay, because the type is none, so our marker is basically a number, and you can, and suppose I want to start from 4, that is 4 apple, 5 banana, 6 mango, 7 grapes. Okay, so I want to start the numbering from 4. So here I just write, 4, and now I'm going to save this code, and now I'm going to run this code. Okay, Jaga fine. So you can see that here my marker is started from 4. So whatever attribute value you have set for the start attribute, from that here the marker value is started. Okay, so you can set your marker value by this start. Okay, now suppose I want to numbering my list from reverse direction. Okay, so what happens, so there is also another attribute that is reversed. Okay, and in the reversed, suppose I am writing true. Okay, so when I'm writing true, so it will give the number from the reverse direction. Okay, so I just save it. Okay, fine. So you can see that here when I apply the reversed attribute and set the value as true, so it can show me the value from reverse direction, that is 1 2 3 4 from the reverse direction. Okay, from the reverse direction. So these are the attributes type, start and reversed that you can use with ordered list to format it. Okay, so that is all about ordered list. And finally today's last topic, that is unordered list. I am going to cover that. Okay, so like ordered list, there is also type attribute in unordered list. We already know that in unordered list the marker is actually a bullet. Okay, so that is why this list is also known as bulleted list. Now what is the function of type attribute in this unordered list? Okay, so basically there are 4 types of attribute value in type attribute of unordered list. Okay, there are 4 different types of type attribute value in unordered list. So the first attribute value is square. Okay, so if we use square here, so our bullet marker is appeared as a square bullet. Okay, so just see this, just save this code, just save this code unordered list and just open it. Yeah, okay, fine. So you can see here the marker is changed into square bullet. Okay, that is why here we are using the type square. Okay, now if here I give the type circle. Okay, so if I give the type circle, then what happens? This bullet marker is changed into circled or rounded bullet marker. Okay, let's save the code and check how it's look like. Yes, so here you can see the bullet marker is changed into a rounded bullet or a circled bullet. Okay, so this is the difference. Now if we just write here disk, so if we write here disk, so this is actually default type of unordered list. Okay, so when we use any, so actually I mean to say that when we don't use type attribute in unordered list, then by default this marker is actually disk type marker. Okay, so just save this code and see the change. Yes, so this is actually by default marker of the unordered list. Okay, so this by default type is actually disk type. Okay, so these are the types of unordered list, and these are the types of attribute values in unordered list. Okay, so there are three types of attribute values, that is square, circle and disk. Okay, and if you just write here none, then your unordered list will appear with no marker. Okay, so there is no marker in your unordered list. Let's check it. Okay, fine. So you can see that in your unordered list there is no marker. Okay, so if you set the type attribute value as none, then there is no marker in your unordered list. So these are the four attribute values. I'm just writing here disk for by default bullet. Okay, then circle for rounded bullet, then square for squared bullet, and finally none for without bullet. Okay, so these are the type attribute values for unordered list. So now you can format your ordered list or unordered list according to your choice, and you can also nest different types of lists. So here I am going to end today's session. So thank you to all of you. So next day we will start with different tags of HTML part 3. Okay guys, now there is a question answer session from day 2 class. Okay, So if you have any doubt, then please post your questions and doubts in the comments section. Don't forget to fill up the feedback form given in the description of this video. Okay, so see you again in the day 3. So goodbye, stay safe and stay home.